got a little bit more to cover about bad guys. Can we do some more bad guys?
Yes.
All right, perfect. All right, so we're on to part number 3 here. This is number 3 of the bad guys. So we've now really done 2 big parts. We've got kind of what is their big goal. Yeah, you got to put that one down. You skipped it. There you go. So make that number 3. So number 1 is sort of what is the big goal and what do we call it? Number 2 is what makes them unique. And now we want to understand, how did they become evil? So this is the big question we got to understand now a little bit, is how in the heck did they become evil? Because, you know, not every bad guy is just born as this terrible person. They become evil some way. So we're going to talk a little bit about what sparked them to think about being evil. And then we're going to talk a lot about how they actually cemented that one. So I want you to think about your bad guy. And usually when they were younger, something happened to them. Something happened with like a bully or a parent or an injury, or they were orphaned or another bad guy. Something made them go bad. So do you, Quinn, do you know what sparked Max to go bad? Was it something happened usually when they were younger, when they were in school or growing up? Is there something that you know? It could be like about a bully, it could be their parent was mean to them, it could be they got sent away. Look, we got one, struck by lightning. That's a good one right there. That's a first good start. Yep.
Well, he gets bullied, and he never wants to be bullied again. So he starts being mean to people, so they won't be mean to him anymore. But then he becomes evil.
Bullies are good ones. Bullies are really, really good ones in there. You see that about Voldermort, right? Voldermort was picked on early on, so that's a good reason for it. So what about Drake? Is it Drago or Draco?
I was thinking Drago.
Like Drago. Okay, got it. So Drago. Yeah. So what led Drago down the wrong path? What sparked it? Was there something that happened early on?
So I think that his parents, like millions and millions of years ago, actually controlled the planet. And then it was when the wizards came, they took the power away from the parents, which actually killed his parents. So he was orphans in that process. And so his whole life mission is to, get powerful enough to take the power back from the wizards.
So revenge is always a good sort of spark that happens too behind it. So maybe that leads into that one. So these sparks, so a dragon killing his parents are good ones, getting struck by lightning are good ones. These things happen. And so then we want to talk about what was the first time that they became evil, that first act, kind of what's when they set off on it. So you said here that Max was bullied. What was the first thing that Max did once he decided he was not going to be bullied anymore? Was there an action they did? Did he pick on someone else growing up, or what did he do to sort of first be evil, the first time he tried to be evil?
He
could be like he hurt someone else. It could be even like things like he ran away. Like what kind of happened?
Well, he ran away and never came back.
Got it. So Max ran away from home. So that's a good one right there. Running away is always a good one. That action, then he's kind of off on his own. What about Drago? Drago, what did Drago do once he his first evil action then?
I think he killed like an innocent like wizard that didn't have many powers. So, just causing more conflict between the two tribes.
Got it. That's good. So those are good ones to start. So then usually what happens is there's what's called the dark act that seals their fate. So they've kind of got a choice to come back. There's this moment that they could change their mind, but they decide not to. So is there a moment when Max could have gone back, but then decided to do the bad thing? Was there a moment when he kind of could he have returned home when he was running away, or could he have decided to kind of, not be evil, but then he didn't? What was that dark act that sealed it?
There was someone who knew him and said they would take him back and make sure nobody bullied him again, and he didn't accept it.
Great. That's a perfect one. So that's what we call in the story the kind of the dark act that seals their fate. So that moment when Max said no, I'm not going to do this one, kind of has that choice, but they decide to act off it. That's an important part in it. And then that's kind of where everything goes from there. So what about with Drago? Was there a point where Drago could have gone back?
Yeah, I think that he won a battle, like a big battle against the wizards, but that wasn't enough for him. So he decided he needed to kill every single one of them, even though just winning by itself would have been enough to be powerful. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So that's it. So that's like the dark act of like, you had it, you won, but then, needed to kill people or fully vengeance. That's a good example of it. So what else? Other kind of dark acts that you guys have seen from everyone else here? Any one of the things you want to share? What are the dark acts that seal it?
Wait,
And
Daddy, what was mine again?
yours was that someone said that they would take him back and stop him from being bullied, and he said no. So we'll show you there's real behind it here. This is, again, the example of kind of what it is. So you'll see here in this sort of slides, and we'll share with you how the slides kind of go and the everything behind it. But this is kind of it's called the tragedy. This is the sort of the hero's journey, but for sort of when bad things happen. So usually evil characters go on this kind of like tragedy journey where they eventually go down this dark act. So the key thing is they have these small things that start with them being evil, and they seal their fate in the dark act, and that's what happens to them. That kind of like sealing fact.
Nice.
All right, so we got our moments here. These are going to be the fun ones where we start to have these ones. So take them in is a good example. Yeah, friend of dragons to take them in. These are all perfect kind of examples of when they could have changed their mind. Like everyone gets a chance to change their mind, but they decide not to, and that's where villains really become real villains. All right, so now we've got a couple of fun ones here.